There's a specific kind of dread that hits on Sunday evenings. Not quite fear, not quite sadness, but a heaviness that settles over your chest when you realize the weekend is slipping away. Your freedom is expiring, and the countdown clock resets to another 5 days of doing work you don't love, for people you don't respect, in a system you don't want to be in. And no matter how many self-care tips people throw at you, bubble baths, going for a walk, journaling, nothing actually fixes the core problem. That the Monday you're dreading isn't an isolated moment. It's your life, repeating itself. Greta here, back with another video for those on a journey to escape the rat race. People underestimate how intense the Sunday scaries really are. It's not just a pre-work anxiety. It's the emotional crash that comes from realizing the only time you get to feel like yourself, your real self, is 2 days out of 7. And even then, most people are too exhausted from the week to actually enjoy it. It's the dread of returning to a job where you're undervalued, the dread of having your time micromanaged, the dread of pretending to be okay just to get through the day. It's a quiet grief, honestly. Grieving the life you know you should be living, but aren't. And the worst part, people around you will act like it's normal. Like you're supposed to just accept that your stomach drops every Sunday at 6 p.m. We live in a world where corporations want you to believe that a face mask and a Netflix binge are enough to reset for another draining week. But you can't self-care your way out of a system that's fundamentally misaligned with your soul. The Sunday scaries aren't caused by a lack of rest. They're caused by a lack of freedom. They're caused by being trapped in a cycle where your time is owned, your creativity is ignored, and your potential is underused. People try everything to cope, staying up late to avoid Monday, drinking to numb the anxiety, overspending on weekends just to feel alive, and distracting themselves with short-term pleasure. But deep down, they know exactly what the issue is. The life they want doesn't match the life they're living. No amount of bubble baths can fix that. The Sunday scaries hit the hardest when your survival is tied to your job. You're not just dreading work, you're dreading the consequences of not going. When your employer controls your income, your energy, and your schedule, it creates a sense of powerlessness. Even if you like your coworkers, and even if the job is okay, that fear still lingers. Because at any moment, one decision from someone above you, a layoff, a budget cut, a schedule change, can disrupt your entire life. That's why the Sunday scaries feel so heavy. They're a reminder that you aren't in control. And that is a fundamentally unstable way to live. Humans were never meant to be dependent on a single stream of income, especially not one that drains them. Here's the part people forget. Sunday scaries are a symptom, not a life sentence. When you start building income outside of your 9 to 5, even if it's small at first, something inside of you changes. Your mindset shifts from, I'm stuck here forever, to, I'm building my escape. And that shift alone can lighten that Sunday dread more than anything else. You don't need to have a fully formed business right away. You don't need to have thousands of dollars saved. You don't need everything figured out. You just need to start with one thing: proof that you can create value outside of your job. Proof that you don't have to rely on one paycheck. Proof that you get to choose the direction of your life. A single online sale, a client inquiry, a digital product launch, even a freelance booking. The moment you realize you can monetize your skills on your terms, the power dynamic changes. You go from dependent to empowered, from trapped to progressing, from anxious to hopeful. And that hope, that's the beginning of your freedom. When you know you're actively building something for yourself, Sundays start to feel different. They stop being a countdown to misery and start becoming strategy days. Instead of panicking about Monday, you think, how can I make next Sunday feel different from this one? What can I build this week that my future self will thank me for? What can I create that gets me one step further from needing this job? You don't need to quit tomorrow. You just need to know that you're leaving eventually. Because power comes from progress, not perfection. Even slow progress is powerful when it's taking you toward freedom. The dread softens when you know you're working towards something bigger than your next paycheck. You start to feel like your time belongs to you again. You start to see your job as temporary, as a stepping stone, not your identity. And that's when everything shifts internally. Instead of seeing the Sunday scaries as something to push down or ignore, see them as a message. They're your intuition telling you that you're meant for more. They're a signal that you're living outside of your purpose. They're your future self tugging at you, saying, don't settle. You're supposed to build something of your own. The people who feel the Sunday scaries the most deeply are usually the ones who are the most talented, the most creative, and the most entrepreneurial, because their soul knows that they're not meant to be controlled. Your discomfort isn't a flaw, it's direction. The Sunday scaries don't magically disappear with positive thinking. They disappear when you reclaim control of your time, your creativity, and your income. You're not meant to spend your life dreading 50% of your week. You're not meant to live for 2 days out of the 7. You're not meant to be trapped in a cycle that drains you. You deserve a life that doesn't have a countdown clock. You deserve mornings that don't come with anxiety. You deserve freedom, real freedom. And the path to freedom starts with building your way out. One step, one sale, one idea, one stream of income at a time. Your future self will thank you for the work you start today. There's no need to choose between survival and a peace of mind. Remember, your job is temporary, but only if you want it to be. Until next time.